Just when you think it's safe to get into the water, we come up with a video like this. Number 15. The Wels Catfish. These large freshwater monsters can grow to an astonishing 16 feet long. Easily recognizable because of their broad flat heads and large mouths, Wels catfish can be found in lakes and rivers all across Europe. They eat a variety of food, such as worms, insects, fish, rodents, frogs, and even birds. Their mouths contain rows of small but also incredibly sharp teeth, and there's been numerous reports of this fearsome fish attacking and killing people, usually fishermen or even unsuspecting swimmers. Number 14. The Moray Eel.
The front ones are very long, they're slightly curved.
Despite looking more like a snake, Moray eels are actually fish that are incredibly dangerous to say the least. There are around 200 species of Moray eels worldwide, and although most live in the sea, some can actually be found in fresh water. Most of these guys can reach 5 feet and don't have pectoral fins, which is why some people mistake them for snakes. They eat mainly squid, octopus, crustaceans, and other fish, and often reside in rocky crevices, which make perfect hiding places. And it's from these hidden layers where they strike at unsuspecting prey and curious divers. Moray eels are incredibly vicious when disturbed and attack with a lightning-fast reflex. Their teeth are exceptionally strong and sharp and are angled backwards to prevent prey from escaping. This makes their bites extremely painful, and wounds usually bleed heavily. They carry a toxin in their slime and mouth, which destroys red blood cells, making the painful bite a deadly one as well. Number 13. The Great White Shark.
The great white shark prowls in deep water.
White sharks are the most notorious of all sharks and are responsible for the highest number of unprovoked attacks on humans on record. While they may not be man-eaters, with around 300 teeth and an estimated bite force of around 18,000 newtons, this fish isn't exactly meant to be underestimated. The great white can have an average length of 15 feet, but some reports record lengths exceeding 20 feet, such as the great white shark named Deep Blue, which experts estimate to weigh in excess of 5,000 pounds. These incredible predators have an excellent sense of smell and can detect the tiniest drop of blood from a quarter of a mile away. They can be found in the coastlines of most major oceans and regularly eat fish, whales, dolphins, sea turtles, and seals. Many scientists believe that great whites do not intentionally attack people, but are simply doing a taste test. This is when they leisurely swim up to someone, often someone surfing, and take a bite to see if they're edible. This is greatly different to when they're intentionally hunting and rocket up to their prey from beneath and land a devastating bite and often breaking the opponent's ribs. Unfortunately for us humans though, even a taste test can be deadly. Number 12. The Lionfish. Lionfish are incredibly venomous fish that, although are native to the Pacific Ocean, have now invaded many other oceans. They're more often than not considered a deadly nuisance, though. They can grow to be around 18 inches long and are characterized by their bright colors, which is basically nature's way of saying, "Don't touch this fish." They're covered in spiky fins, and the fish's potent venom can be found in these fins. Their stings can cause extreme pain, vomiting, and breathing difficulties. Although lionfish stings are not usually fatal to adults, they are much more dangerous to children, elderly, or anyone who suffers an allergic reaction. Number 11. The Stonefish.
There it is. Not a stone, but a stonefish.
Stonefish are small and unassuming, only growing to an average length of 30 to 40 centimeters long, but they are a living proof of the fact that you don't have to be great in order to be a threat. The stonefish protects itself with 13 venomous dorsal spines capable of killing tissue and putting the human body into shock. The venom of a stonefish can cause excruciating pain, temporary paralysis, and even heart failure, a very lethal combination, especially if you're diving, miles away from the nearest help. Fortunately though, there is an anti-venom developed for the stonefish's toxin, but it won't do you any good, especially if you're out diving alone with no one to help you. Number 10. The STARGAZER. Beautiful name, extraordinarily ugly fish. Stargazers are easily recognizable by the horrified, woeful expression on their upturned faces. Stargazers are easily among the most frightening fish in the ocean, capable of vacuuming up, electrocuting, and delivering deadly venom to their enemies. These three attributes are the reasons why the stargazer fish earned its nickname of the meanest thing in creation. For defense, they have two large spines on their backs that allow the fish to inject venom into potential attackers or a misplaced human hand or even a foot. They're also bioelectrogenic, meaning they are capable of producing electricity, like electric eels and just a handful of other fishes. A specialized organ behind their eyes allows them to deliver electronic shocks to predators. Number 9. The DUBOIS sea snake. This Australian serpent is the most venomous sea snake out there, and one of the top 3 most dangerous snakes in the world. Although predominantly found in Australia, they can also be found in the seas around Papua New Guinea and New Caledonia. They live at depths of up to 260 feet deep in coral reef flats, sandy and silty sediments which contain seaweed, invertebrates, and corals or sponges that can serve as shelter. They feed on everything, but just to illustrate how dangerous they are, they prey regularly on another vicious animal on this list, that being the Moray Eel. Number 8. The boxfish. Boxfish are very similar to pufferfish, although not quite as lethal. Their size ranges between 10 and 24 inches, depending on the species, and they usually inhabit rocky and coral reefs in the Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans. They're distinguished by their box-shaped bodies and honeycomb patterns on their skin. Boxfish mainly eat algae, worms, and small fish. They also have a really cool defense mechanism to ward off predators, which is a toxin called ostracytoxin. This is released through their skin into the surrounding water, which is poisonous to anything in their vicinity. This can be particularly harmful to humans as it breaks down red blood cells. In addition, some boxfish are deadly if eaten uncooked. However, most people prefer to avoid eating them entirely because of their similarities to the pufferfish. Number 7. The flamboyant cuttlefish. The flamboyant cuttlefish is the only toxic cuttlefish known to exist. This colorful creature has been compared to the blue-ringed octopus, as in its poisonous flesh can kill any predator that dares to feast on it. This small but feisty cuttlefish can be found ambling along the seafloor on 2 arms and fins that combine to make leg-like appendages. Unlike other cuttlefish species, the flamboyant cuttlefish doesn't dart away when threatened. It remains stationary, flashing its hypnotic color scheme and pulsing its fins as if saying, "Go ahead, try and eat me. See how that goes for you." Number 6. The CANDIRU.
Look at that, I can actually feel its spines digging in when it does that. It was actually walking using its head.
At just an inch long, CANDIRU are small but deadly, and are without a doubt a fish you want to avoid at all costs. They're a parasitic freshwater catfish that are native to the Amazon basin and are difficult to spot due to their translucent body. CANDIRU feed on blood and have a small head and body which can swell after they've had a meal. Although they usually live in the gills of larger fish, they've also been known to swim up into the urethra of humans. Once they've entered the urethra, they're difficult to remove as they have backward-pointing spines on their gills. CANDIRU then feed on the blood and mucous membranes and lay eggs in the bladder, eventually causing death unless removed. Number 5. The electric eel. A full-grown electric eel will generate about 600 volts of electricity in short, intense bursts that last only about 2 milliseconds. This electric charge comes from thousands of muscle cells that each create a tiny current. A 6-foot eel, for example, has about 6,000 muscle cells working together to generate those 600 volts, which is quintuple the voltage contained within a standard wall socket in the United States. The eel does use this shocking ability primarily for hunting, by stunning fish around it, making it easier to catch. It also does discharge a large voltage every time it feels threatened, which have had fatal results in humans in a number of times. Number 4. Piranhas. Piranhas are famous for their taste of meat and razor-sharp triangular teeth. They live in South American rivers. Piranha can apply a bite force of about 25 to 30 times its own body weight, and in that way, this dangerous predatory fish can even crush large animals in a few minutes. Piranhas prefer to feed on carrion fish, crustaceans, and seeds, but a hungry piranha will attack anything in front of them. They hunt in groups to catch a larger prey, but when a group sets their eyes on a target, escape is pretty much no longer an option. The numbers of attacks from piranhas on humans are as rare as you might think. Granted, though, there have been a number of reported attacks on humans over in the Amazon basin. Number 3. Bull sharks. When it comes to being dangerous, bull sharks can give the great white and even the tiger shark a run for their money. Bull sharks are named after their short, blunt snout, and unlike other species of sharks, bull sharks are known to travel in fresh waters. They've specially adapted kidneys, which help them survive in fresh water. This special adaptation makes bull sharks more dangerous than other sharks. They can be found in rivers and lakes, hence making human encounters with this fish extremely likely. As of writing, a total of 121 confirmed bull shark attacks on humans have been recorded. These fast and aggressive predators feed mainly on turtles, mollusks, bird, crustaceans, and dolphins, but they also have a tendency to attack anything in front of them, even other sharks and, of course, humans. Number 2. The electric ray. Although less known, electric rays are actually more common than the electric eel. They can be found in most temperate seas across the world. There are a variety of species of this animal, and the strength of electric discharge also varies between the species. For instance, a jolt from the marbled electric ray can reach up to 220 volts. Their shocking personalities come from two highly effective electrogenic organs that can produce and store electricity through muscular contractions. The electric rays discharge this stored electricity to defend against predators and, of course, to catch their prey. Electric rays can usually be found on ocean floors, buried in mud or sand. The dark brown coloration of electric rays resemble the ocean floors, which helps them to hide away from potential predators. Now it's time for the day's best pick. So if you find something strange online, may it be a photo or a video, just send it on over to us. We'll do our best to look into it for you and come up with a good answer. With that said though, let's go with number 1. The Goliath tigerfish.
Imagine if you crossed a shark with a piranha.
A native of the Congo River Basin, Lake Upemba, and Lake Tanganyika in Africa, the Goliath tigerfish is the biggest of the tigerfish family. The biggest one on record was nearly 5 feet long and weighed 154 pounds and was the equivalent of a super welterweight prizefighter in terms of its weight. It easily outclasses other African game fish in both speed, power, and size. The Goliath tigerfish is a piscivore, which means it mainly eats fish. With such great size, an adult Goliath tigerfish will eat any other fish that it can overpower, such as small Nile perch. Locals also say it's the only fish that doesn't fear the crocodile, and that it actually does eat smaller ones. It's also been known to attack humans in rare instances. They're so dangerous, in fact, that one fishing safari promoter requires clients read a cautionary treatise on the Goliath before agreeing to a fishing trip. Which of these fish terrifies you the most? Well, let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to check out the channel's other amazing videos. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.